welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, de Café con Leche. For the next hour, coming to you from BronxNet Studios, inviting you to get social with us online. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV, and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. Our first guest is an Emmy-nominated anthropologist, educator, activist, songwriter, and now a poet, but above all, she is a storyteller. She practices bilingual multimedia storytelling about Afro, Caribbean, and Latinx culture and experiences that invite children and adults to join in on the adventures. Her latest book, Broken Butterfly Wings, or Alas de Mariposaotas, celebrates the tropical rainforest, El Yunque, and aims to start conversations about preservation of Puerto Rico's natural beauty and rebuilding efforts after Hurricane Maria, demonstrating the joy found in using one's imaginations. Here now to share more, please welcome Dr. Raquel Ortiz. Hello!
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Good morning. You look fabulous. Love your backdrop. I've got all these beautiful colors. It's very, very, very vibrant.
It's a reflection on what goes on in here. Lots of books, lots of color, lots of beautiful artifacts that remind me of Puerto Rico and of our culture.
Yeah, you are killing it, I gotta say. Since we last had you on, you've been nominated for an Emmy. You had an actual animation, right? That nomination was for. You've published, I want to say 4 books, right? 4 children's books. I know this.
A couple.
Say that again.
A couple. There was the Vicky book that I think we talked about,
Right.
and now the brand new one, Broken Butterfly Wings. And then I did an academic piece. So
Oh.
we were able to write a chapter and give curriculum about one of our favorite poets, Tato Laviera. So I'm over the moon because my one of my hopes and dreams is that Tato Laviera is taught everywhere to everyone because he's medicine for the soul.
He
He's
is.
beautiful.
He's a New Eurekan icon that definitely should be in everybody's mouths and should definitely be in everybody's development.
Exactly. And it's because of that project with Tato, I started playing with poetry and I wrote a poem to honor Julia de Burgos. So it got picked up for the next publication of And Then. So it'll be out in December. And one of the important things of this is it is for children. So it's called Following My Route, and it's a reflection of the Julia de Burgos' words. Because like you and I know, it's not easy being a woman. It's not easy being a pionera. It's not easy finding and using your voice. So I'm trying to find the words, and thanks to people like Tato and like Julia, we have some examples of how to have a voice and then how to share a voice. Kind of like you, kind of like Open.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. All right, so I messed up saying 4 books. How many is it all together? Because you're
I
like, wait a
shortcutted
minute.
it.
No, no, no. You're like, we're just beginning. But, I didn't know about the poetry in the other books. So how many are there all together right now, thus far that you're publishing?
This number 6 is the new one, and then the Vicky one just recently got an award. So we're
I love that
yes,
book. I
yes,
love that book. I absolutely love that book.
yep. Edis and I are over the moon about that. Edis is going to do something at Centro, a book reading on the Vicky in the near future, and nothing. Number 6 is Broken Butterfly Wing. So hopefully a couple more in the near future. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then of course we need to acknowledge you for being a published poet. No?
That's that's the new one. That's the fun. I was thinking of Sandra Miria Esteves has a poem about trying on different identities, and I'm like putting on the word poet, and my hair is curling a little bit better, and my mouth a little bit bigger because I'm like, if you could be something like Julia de Burgos, I think that's big. Or Sandra Maria Esteves, so many of our beautiful writers. If I can join that group, I'll be honored.
And I love that you're mentioning our treasures, right? Because you're mentioning
Mhm.
Julia de Burgos, Sandra Maria Esteves, and Tato Laviera. And I think it's important that our next generation really look deeper into who these people are. Because I mean, I would love to have a conversation about them, but we're really here to talk about you and your new book, Broken Butterfly Wings. And so, thanks for shouting out all these legends who have really paved the way for all of us. Because even myself, like I feel like I became a spoken word artist by default, just being in the environment. And we hope that rubs off on everybody else.
Right, right, right. Well, I would tie to the book, and then at the end, like usual, my little girl's flying. And I think you with the spoken word, me with what I'm writing, that's the way that we figured out how to fly. And I think the big important part of broken butterfly wings is the wings start broken, and we are broken. We are in pieces. We are a colonized people with a whole bunch of different things going on. And when we work together, when you have a program and you bring us and you show our light and our beauty to everybody, and it's not that I'm beautiful, it's that we are beautiful. Our children are beautiful. Our people are beautiful. So we need to read that, ingest that, celebrate that, and then continue to make and create. Which with the Gabby in the book, the wings are broken. She puts on these wings, she can't go anywhere, and she's frustrated. And then her father and her start talking about where she wants to go, which is another big, deep conversation, right? Sometimes we don't even know where we want to go. So she starts to imagine a junque, the smells, the taste, the textures, and she fills herself with that. And that gives her the power to fly and to go on to that next step that she needs to be. So it's a story I wrote after Hurricane Maria. You know how we were all feeling and how destroyed we all were emotionally, our island and our people physically, socially, economically. But or and the Yunque came back. Our people are coming back, but always with our help. Those are our cousins. Those are our brothers and sisters. So just like the work you're doing, the work I'm doing, it's to remind us those are our people. That's our land. That's our home, and we need to always celebrate and support them.
And so, just in hearing the way you're presenting this new book, which, by the way, I mean, if you didn't know you were a poet, I mean, come on. It doesn't get any more poetic than that.
It takes a minute. And back to we're told we don't have voices. We're told we don't have poetry. We're told we don't have beauty, which is ironic because look at all these superstar Puerto Rican, authors and poets and singers. But sadly, it takes a while for us to own our beauty and our power. So, it
Yeah.
took a minute, but I'm here.
So I was looking at the video, the trailer promo for the picture
Mhm.
book, and I love that you really use an actual girl. It's not animation, and you take us through what that felt like to actually receive the broken wings and what to do with the broken wings, and I love the reminiscence of taking you back to, I guess in this occasion we can reference it as the motherland, right?
Right.
And also sending like this certain vibration to a jewel that exists within the island, which is the rainforest. I mean, if for those of you who have ever visited Puerto Rico or want to visit, you must go to El Yunque. And so that treasure was impacted by Hurricane Maria. And so, just in you writing about it, it's almost like transmitting this new rediscovery of something that is part of our upbringing, right? As Puerto Ricans, I'm speaking, of course. So, the fact that you're writing it for the next generation, that was all leading into the fact that you're writing it for the next generation. And I love that you write for the next generation and the way that you write for the next generation. But it's also, it's inviting for adults to also partake. How much research do you do when it comes to navigating, marrying the imaginary world with facts?
Right. Well, I want to confess, I don't write for the next generation. I write for me.
Ah,
And I think, as you say, it took me a minute to recognize my voice. I think it's also taking me some time to celebrate and to understand. So I start from something I'm struggling with and then go forward. With this one, I have to share nice happily that one of the people I went to was my father. So it was really based on us going to a junque and us having this family vacation many years ago. And I grabbed people around me and asked them, what do you remember and what was that like? Of course, with a junque, I don't know if you know, but it is a sacred space for the Taínos. So I have been recently doing a lot of research on Taínos and the importance of a junque. So there's a piece that's in the books and academic, but I think more and more there's a piece that's in the heart, and when you sit down with your dad and talk about that story, when you look at the book, it's dedicated to my father and to fathers, it's to my three brothers, but it's also this love story of a dad sitting with his child. And when I go to schools, one time one of the kids was like, "That's my favorite moment." And I thought it was a very soft moment, but it's so beautiful to have a parent holding you and hearing you and helping you get to where you want to go. So, I do research, and you've mentioned the title. I have a PhD, and I think what happens with the most important is when we touch their soul, when we connect with them with the video. One of the things is the music. William Cepeda played the caracol, the conch shell. And if that doesn't take you somewhere, I don't know how to move you. And then, of course, Kendra, who's running around in the butterfly wings. We were at Mariposario, the friend of mine, Lynn Benitez, has. And just being in Puerto Rico, filming with Puerto Rican kids, and having people from the island see my project and think it's worthy because everyone's doing us favors, so they're helping me to help tell this story, and it's just so humbling to think that these people are giving me their time and their resources to help us continue to celebrate us.
Oh my gosh, how beautifully noted. And I want to say, what a wonderful plug for Father's Day.
Yeah, right. Come on, dads, up your game, up your game. We'll write you lots of books.
Well, no, I mean, especially because you dedicated it to a moment that you shared with your dad. And I think
Yeah.
it's important for us to recognize that there's that special relationship as well. And obviously, you've done it with this story. And so, where can people get the book?
People can go on to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Arte Publico Press page, and then hopefully some of your independent bookstores. I know Uptown Word Up has my books, so it's everywhere. Please get it. Please share it. Please celebrate these fathers, and please help celebrate imagination and rebuilding and resilience.
Woo! Thank you, everyone. Dr. Raquel Ortiz, Emmy-nominated anthropologist, educator, activist, and storyteller. Once again, we were discussing Broken Butterfly Wings, her new book. It's available where all books are sold. And for more information on Dr. Ortiz, you can visit drraquelmortiz.com.